Will it be you, Goku?
Yeah, that's right.
I was hoping to save the best for last.
Cell says he's hoping to save the best for last, which brings us to one of the more interesting points of the Cell Saga. Or the androids, whatever. Goku is only fighting Cell first to test the extent of Cell's abilities. Goku is pretty sure he is no match for Cell. I believe this is even the match where he pulls out the instant Kamehameha, a combination of instant transmission with the Kamehameha wave. And it's really impressive and again blows off a huge piece of Cell's body. And just like last time a huge chunk was blown out of his body, he almost instantly regenerates. It's also worth noting that Cell is definitely holding back right now. It's kind of cool because with how little Goku has done in the Cell games, Cell Saga, and how much time he's spent training, it's easy to get the impression that he's the big guns, that he's the one that's going to put Cell away. And that's just not how it goes. Oh yeah, I said Goku didn't do a whole lot, but he did go and find Dende from Namek and ask Dende to be the new Guardian of Earth. Since after Kami and Piccolo fused, there were no more Dragon Balls. He also spent the entire week before the Cell games relaxing while in his Super Saiyan form. And he was relaxing, of course, because he knew there was nothing he could do to beat Cell anyway.
You win. I give up. Now that I know how strong you really are, I think I'd better quit while I'm ahead. Gohan, it's your turn.
You are one cocky little brat. Are you ready?
I'm not sure I would describe Gohan's attitude during this fight as cocky. Anyway, after Goku surprisingly gave up, Gohan was like, yeah, Goku was just holding back. That's why this fight went this way. And he was really surprised to find out that, of course, Goku was not actually holding back. And that he really did believe Gohan had the hidden power capable of destroying Cell. Even though he powers up to a level where he surpasses Goku immensely, Gohan still wants nothing to do with fighting Cell. He holds back the entire fight, which easily allows Cell to gain the upper hand, and foolishly explains to Cell the reason he's holding back is because his true power is triggered only by his anger, and he doesn't want to do that. Cell's obviously a little bit pissed about this, so he just starts smacking Gohan a bit. Just keeps smacking him around until Gohan gets angry enough to kick him in the face. This actually kind of hurts Cell, and because everyone is arrogant and really dumb in the world of Dragon Ball Z, Cell only wants to see Gohan's power even more after that. Oh yeah, and another important thing to mention, Android 16 has just been kinda hanging out with the Z fighters around the arena, watching this happen. And when Gohan starts getting seriously hurt, 16 sneaks up behind Cell and attempts to self-destruct. And it's implied that the self-destruct bomb would probably kill Cell. But the bomb was removed by Bulma and her father while 16 was unconscious, and of course Cell immediately breaks free and blasts Android 16 all over the place. This is very important to remember for later.
You Cell Juniors, kill them as you please.
Watch out! Those guys are stronger than you think!
I like that Goku has to specifically state that they're way stronger than they look. One of my first experiences with the Cell Juniors was in the original Budokai game, and I was really curious why they were such a big deal to the characters. According to Cell himself, they're supposed to have all of his abilities, even though they're never shown regenerating, which you would figure is a very important ability of his. They're still strong enough to kick everyone's ass, even Goku, who was very weak from his fight with Cell that he just had. Vegeta and future Trunks seem to hold up against them relatively well, and I think in the anime Piccolo did a decent job against them for a brief period, but like all fights in Dragon Ball Z, the fight with the Cell Juniors was dragged on for quite a while in the anime, so you could argue that this is a positive thing since the Cell Juniors don't get that much screen time either way, and one of the Cell Juniors in the anime manages to reflect Vegeta's final flash. But you could also reasonably construe from the fact that the Cell Juniors are kicking the Z Fighters' asses that the Cell Juniors are strong anyway. The thing I most remember about the Cell Junior fight is that the Cell Juniors go out of their way to beat up Yamcha too, even though Yamcha has definitely retired from fighting at this point, and he's just like, no guys, I'm just coming along to watch. He ends up getting the shit beat out of him anyway. Poor guy. Anyway, during this, apparently Gohan has reached Zen-like levels of patience, because even though everyone he loves is getting the shit kicked out of them, he still doesn't go full rage and start blasting Cell to pieces. In spite of all this happening, he needs someone to convince him that fighting, unleashing his rage, for a good cause is acceptable. So Android 16 convinces Hercule to throw his disembodied head to Gohan, so that way he can explain to Gohan it's okay to get really pissed off and kill people, as long as you do it for a good reason. That reason being protection, of course, which is really the only reason Android 16 ever fought anybody. He was originally supposed to fight Goku, but he never really got around to that. The idea that a would-be pacifist of all people had to tell Gohan that he needed a fight to save his friends is actually pretty sweet narratively. But it doesn't make too much sense with the existing character motivation, since Gohan didn't even know Android 16 that well. And it's only after Cell destroys Android 16's disembodied head that Gohan finally freaks out. I mean, granted, it's implied that it was a combination of everything Cell had done to that point with the destruction of Android 16. And in the anime at least, Gohan had a nightmare where he saw, I think, Cell stepping on his loved ones' heads like he did to Android 16. So there was cause for him to freak out, since that was like him seeing his nightmare come to life in the anime. It comes with a plot inconsistency because Gohan had not seen Cell at that point, but at least it establishes slightly better motivation, even if the existing motivation is far from broken. I mean, if anything, there was already more than enough reason for Gohan to freak out and start hitting Cell. I guess freak out isn't really the right term because his anger makes him colder this time, which is really kind of chilling.
Time up! You've changed!
You're not gonna get away with this any longer!
There's not much to say about this fight besides that Gohan completely rips the Cell Juniors to shreds. Very easily. Also, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is way faster than any other form of Gohan. In the game, I mean. The only, even remotely interesting thing I feel I can say about the Cell Junior fight with Gohan is that one of the Cell Juniors tried to use Destructo Disc against him. I believe that was only in the anime, though. He destroyed them much quicker in the manga because everything goes faster in the manga. Oh yeah, and I can't remember if it was here or slightly later, but sometime during Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 transformation, future Trunks realizes that Gohan had done what he couldn't, managed to increase his power and speed simultaneously. Because Gohan managed an actual transformation instead of just appearing in a new form that wasn't quite a look, being a Super Saiyan is really complicated shit. The point is that Gohan is easily strong enough to destroy the Cell Juniors and Cell by, like, blinking at this point. So what could possibly go wrong?